All right, this is kind of a reflection before the election tomorrow. Reflection before the election. Whoa, we're getting all poetic here. And I wanted to say that I think a lot of us who comment on politics online, whether it's on YouTube or on, a blogging platform or anywhere else, a lot of us are way too wrapped up in it. But it is good to be interested in civic issues, I guess. I think that a lot of the results that come with that, when you get into really long, drawn out arguments with strangers, that does become a real problem the longer you do it. I think it's kind of it's affected kind of my state of mind for a couple years. You don't really enjoy the things that you used to be able to enjoy. Today I was watching a football game that I couldn't enjoy anyway, and God willing, Jason Garrett will be fired soon, and Jerry Jones will die of natural causes. Um, I think that really, when you focus a little too much on politics or anything, get too obsessed, you start to lose sight of really the objective. The objective in being interested in any issue is to obviously, to live a more prosperous existence and be able to feel better about the world that you wake up to every morning. And I don't think that really continuing to have this type of atmosphere is contributing to that. Now, the problem is that we are in this sort of battle. That this is, people talk about wars, people talk about conflicts and crises and natural disasters. Those, I think, are a more extreme form of mental challenge. Okay, a challenge to a person's psyche. But I would say that this political clash, that what many people are talking about as a coming second civil war here in the U.S., I would say that at least in psychological terms, it has degraded the actual mental um, fortitude of a lot of people. There have been certain articles that have been published. I don't think I'm going to post any because it's just a reflection, but there were many reports after the 2016 election of couples divorcing and families that they're not even able to have conversations anymore because one sibling voted for one candidate and the other one for a different one, and parents and children that won't talk, and people that are ostracized. The walk away movement, a substantial amount of those people have claimed that they're not welcome in their households anymore. It's pretty weird. I disagree with my dad pretty much on a lot of issues. He's not a. I'm much more of a civil libertarian. He's not. He's a huge partisan Democrat. I'm staunchly against the Democratic Party, and I don't really like the Republicans either. And they're very disappointing, by the way, especially here in Ohio. And this has nothing to do with what's going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow, um, it's a good question what's going to happen, but we're not addressing any prognostications in this video. This video is really just talking about the atmosphere here. And I was thinking today, I was at my desk, and the one of the senior officers at the site that I work at, he came up to my desk and he said, "Hey, come over. We're going to be having lunch, and there's going to be kind of a question and answer with one of the customers. The customer is going to basically have a forum, what are the needs and everything." And it was very nice. And this is an officer never spoke to me before. Somebody who's way up the food chain, and I'm pretty much not. So I was like, yeah, this is great. This is really, and by the way, almost every person where I work, is kind of like that. It's the last place I worked was a little less cordial, but people weren't overly political. There weren't, and I wouldn't say that there was tons of conflicts there. But this place, it's really, people have this mindset that they come to work. We're doing medical devices, and people do have a commitment to producing a product that is both economical and changes the industry and helps the patient and makes the world better. Okay, and that I think that not every industry you can say that you get to work with that type of person. I don't always think I belong in that type of environment because I don't exactly have I've worked in this industry before, but I wouldn't say that I've totally become the same type of personality as them. Partially because the rest of the day, when I do have free time and I'm not at the gym or I'm not outside doing work or something outside of the house, I'm basically doing stuff like this, and I'm doing a lot of trolling too. I'm doing a lot of writing, a lot of very opinionated writing, and that type of stuff doesn't translate well into just being a serene person who's just going to work all the time and trying to put their best foot forward every day, because it's just two different mentalities. And I would say it's difficult just trying to do both, trying to think about both things. You do have to kind of separate yourself, because the news cycle is 24/7. You're not supposed to be working 24/7, but you do get, people will listen at their desk to various things, podcasts or whatever. I remember so almost nobody almost nobody that I work with has ever said anything political, like in a very direct manner. Nobody, especially not concerning elections. Okay, almost nobody that I've ever they've never said it directly. The closest that I've seen was a guy who actually works probably a couple desks behind me, who is a senior engineer. When Kavanaugh was confirmed, he basically let out kind of a cheer. He's like, well, not like a very loud cheer. It was like a barely like kind of a loud whisper saying, yes, he got the votes. And he was saying that to one of the technicians there. And I was like, no, that's interesting. I didn't know that this person's interested in politics, and it kind of surprises you. Then the guy right next to me, also a different time, several times we've talked a lot about how he, for example, I believe he's Puerto Rican, and he does seem to have very conservative beliefs, not entirely. Um, not entirely buys into the Trump personality, but certainly does talk about how the economy is doing very well, how the country is the greatest country in the world. And if you were to pick somebody to have those beliefs at the place I work at, I don't know who you would pick. A lot of the people are Asian American. They don't seem to care at all about politics. They seem to just be happy. They seem to be able to just live and have families and be able to really do their jobs very well, and innovate and come up with effective solutions and talk about reducing costs. And they're great people, but those people are actually, this is where I kind of depart from that. And that's one of the reasons that I do think that we do need to have people active in blogging and doing this alternative media, because the people that go out there and are the backbone of America in terms of the talent in innovation and in tech and stuff like that, and medicine and pharmaceuticals and all that, they're actually, for the most part, they're pretty good people, but they're not the people who are going to be able to resist any threats from foreign or domestic enemies. Okay, those people are very good at balancing their lives. Hopefully, some of them, one of the other guys I work with kind of has issues with that, due to divorces and stuff like that. Still a great person, but for the most part, these people are very good at managing their professional lives and being the type of anchor to that their family needs, but they're not going to go and risk all of that in order to deal with the type of nonsense that we see day to day. These are people. First of all, they might not be aware totally of what's going on because they're not necessarily interested in what's going on in basically the political street. The last company I worked at, people were basically talking all the time, and these were people that were more my age. They were talking more about the Marvel Netflix series. I think what's that series? Luke Cage, and of course Daredevil and whatever. And I was thinking, that's I mean, obviously those shows have fans, but um, at the time that was when all of the Proud Boy shit and the Antifa stuff was really going down. There was disturbances going on all the time across the country, and all these demonstrations and the Women's March. The majority of these people were just apathetic. I've heard Tim Pool talk about that too, and you know I guess there's different types of personalities, and there's some people that nothing that goes on will motivate them to be involved in any way more than they already have been, if they've been active at all. So no, the people that are most content and most comfortable are not the ones that are gonna change America. They're not gonna save America either. They do keep America running. They do keep America's innovation running. Which it was Marathon gas station has those ads that we keep America driving. I think I don't remember. Fuck Marathon. I don't care. But the issue is that um, those of us that do focus on this stuff, those of us that do write about the current issues of the day and debate with people and confront, our opponents, we're not necessarily going to be happy from it. In fact, it could have the opposite effect. It could end up just breaking a person down. But you do it because you believe that basically this is important enough to pay attention to and to not get blindsided. Okay, not everybody's making a difference, but everybody who's involved is staying aware in order to be ready for the change that is going to happen. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. I think the next video is going to be a very different tone, but I hope that you are, you're going to come out of this election day on the other side and say, look, we're gonna have to keep moving in some direction. You can't just vote and then expect change to happen because the people that get into office, um, they end up basically you're handing them the keys. Okay, you have to make sure that when you hand them the keys, they know that it's still your car that they're driving, and it's obviously not been an easy lesson for them to learn. So please like this video, share this video. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to my other channel, Razor Ray Live Wounds. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to do a live stream. I might not. I might just watch the live stream from the Sticks Hex and Hammer channel, or go through some of the other live. There's going to be a lot of really interesting live streams tomorrow. So we'll see. I don't know. It's a good question. That's about it. Also comment when it uploads. See you later.